It's about time. It's about time. I get my nails done, or maybe a new pair of shoes, or maybe I need to get my hair done. No. Maybe it's about time. Maybe it's about time that more women burn their bras. No. Seriously, it's about time that more women declare their ambition and run for political office. Women make up 51% of the United States population, but we only represent 22% of those in elected positions. There are 500,000 elected positions, all the way from the president to local positions here, right here in our communities. But we don't even represent a quarter of those. At the rate we're going right now, it will take 100 years for us to reach gender parity. We need 140,000 young women to declare their ambition and run for political office. But I get it. Not everybody's into politics. Quite honestly, we're probably all politicked out at this point. But if you declare your ambition, you're making the commitment that you will help another young woman run for office. So I had the opportunity to go and talk with a lot of young people. And this young man raised his hand and he said, I don't get it. Why do we just need women to run for office just because they're a woman? I said, you're exactly right. We need trained women. We need civically engaged women. We need women who are prepared. And that's where Ignite comes in. Ignite builds political ambition in young women. I went on to talk to the same group of young people. And this young woman, I said to the group, actually it was the group that I addressed the question, I said, did you know women died for the right to vote? And this young woman looked around and she said, no. I said, yes, women died, fought, and were thrown in jail for the right to vote. It wasn't until 1920 that women got the right to vote, and we have not even embarked on our 100th year anniversary. And for women of color, particularly African American women, it wasn't until the 1960s that they got the right to vote. But when we think about politics and we think about student engagement, they're not engaged. They do not get it. Here in Texas, in 2014, we were ranked number 50 out of all the states in voter turnout. In 2012, we were 48, so we're going in the wrong direction here in the state of Texas. So young people today don't even understand the sacrifices that were made. As a young child, my parents talked to me, particularly about my grandfather, who was the first black state senator of Kansas. And they used to talk about the fact that my grandfather was threatened. There was lynchings going on. My grandmother would go out with her friends and try to raise money. It was so hard at that time to try to be in office. And my mother, who was part of segregation. So I learned at an early age what discrimination was about, what sexism was about. But our young people don't. So what are we going to do about it? How are we going to make a difference? So that's where Ignite comes in. Ignite is a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization that works to build political ambition in young women. It's a movement of young women who are civically engaged, who want to address the issues in their community and ultimately run for office. So when did it all come about? In 2009, Dr. Ann Moses in Oakland, California, was in the political space. And she would go and ask women, why don't you run? No, I don't have time. I have my family. I'm busy with my career. And she quickly realized that we need to start early with young women, in high school and college. We need them to step up and think about running for office. Ignite then came to Texas thanks to the Boone Foundation, who gave some money in 2011, actually lots of money, so we were really appreciative of them. And if you know Garrett and Cecilia Boone with the Container Store, they really became passionate about the mission. And like myself, when I first heard about the Ignite mission, I was absolutely floored, talking about women, politics, and empowering young women to get involved. But what do we really do? So I talk about when it was founded, how it came to Texas. So we go into the high schools, whether it be DISD, Summit High School, which is an uplift school in Arlington, or Fort Worth ISD, or KIPP schools in Houston. And we go in the high schools and we provide facilitators to talk about leadership development, civic engagement, policy, and activism. We want these young women to get involved. And then for the colleges and universities, our college women rally and organize voter registration drives, or they assemble kits for women's shelters. So we want them to be engaged in their communities. So what's really the impact when I talk about Ignite? There are 4 areas: civic knowledge, civic engagement, political self-efficacy, and political ambition. But I'm going to focus in on one: political self-efficacy. The young women who are involved in Ignite can see themselves making a difference in their communities and making a change. That's powerful. But it's not the quantitative data that really impacts me. It's the stories from our young women. So last February, one of our young women stood in front of the Ignite family and said, "I'm a part of Ignite because I want to be trained and I want to run for office. When my father came back from serving in the military, he suffered from PTSD and ultimately took his life. And she did not want any daughter or son to have to experience what she experienced. She wants to influence policies for veterans that when they enter into the military, when they serve, and when they come out. And marrying into a military family, I promise you the issues are real. We must support our veterans." So I get it. Not every student is like this student who's clear why she wants to run for office and what she wants to focus in on. There's so many reasons why women do not run for office. Don't we sometimes have people focus more on how we look, our hair and our nails and our shoes? We're not socialized or asked to run. You have to ask a young woman several more times before a young man. Women are afraid to get up and stand in front of other people and ask for money or speak in front of them, or they're afraid of losing. Young men are conditioned at a higher rate than women to play in sports where they learn to win and lose and pick yourself up after you're defeated. And also, women don't feel like they're prepared. And this comes from research from Lawless and Fox. They talk about this extensively. That a young man will step out even when he is not prepared, while a woman will step back. Why is that? We must step forward into our place. But I tell you why women don't run or why they're afraid of running. But the bigger question is, why should they run? Like I said, women make up 51% of the United States population, and we don't even represent a quarter of those positions. Don't our issues matter? Don't we care about maternity leave or pay equity? As a new mom, I've learned firsthand of the issues related to maternity leave. Or health care, as we've heard other speakers talk about. Women who are in office reach across the aisles and will work to obtain compromise. They won't let things get into gridlock and get stuck. They care about their constituencies on a higher rate. Now, nothing's perfect. I want to make that caveat. So we need more women to run for office. So in closing, I would say this. The ramifications of inequality in the United States have haunted us for too long. It is time to close the gap. It's about time we close the gap. So I ask each of you all today to declare your ambition and run for political office. And if you do not want to, declare anyway and help somebody else. Thank you.